Namaste, Jai Bharat. Baluchistan officially declared as a republic. They are in the process of forming government and other things, etc. Of course, Baluchistan's case is justified because in 1947, when Pakistan was carved out of Bharat, Baluchistan was rather technically given independence. They were colored. They wanted to be autonomous. They wanted to be independent. They did not want to be a part of Pakistan, and they did exist as an independent entity for some months until Pakistan has sent army and annexed them. This is something like what China has done to Tibet. Something like that. They forced Baluchis into them. Right from that day, the Baluchis never belonged emotionally to Pakistan. They were ever happy to say that we are not Pakistanis, we are Baluchs. So Baluchs have a justified cause for their own sovereignty. It was not a part of Pakistan at any point in time. They had their own kings and etc. Fundamentally, they all are Hindus. Nobody is a hereditary Muslim in this area. Everyone is hereditary Hindus to that extent, if you say. But Pakistan, Baluchis, they all are Muslims, but then that's not a unifying thing. As Iqbal hoped, it doesn't happen. Because they had their own independence. Now the point is they have their own culture, which is entirely different from the Punjabis of Pakistan. So Baluchis have a justified reason to ask for a separate nation. They have declared Baluchis as a republic, and they are going forward. They are going forward. And why Pakistan can't accept? Because Pakistan won't be able to be one for all time to come in the future. Because this was known to Jinnah more than anybody else. Because Jinnah was the person who knew that Pakistan can't be a nation. They have nothing in common. They can't be a nation. He knew it. You just look back your history. Just see the history. Until 1944, Jinnah never supported the idea of Pakistan. He never liked the term Pakistan. He never supported, never liked, and rather objected to that. Even in 1944, I suppose, the Lahore Declaration, maybe in 1944, if I'm not wrong, in 1944 March or so, when the Lahore Declaration was made, Jinnah was the president of All India Muslim League then, and they wanted to give for a separate call, two-nation call, and Jinnah reluctantly called it. But he did not go to the morning session. He waited, and in the afternoon session, he gave that speech, gave the so-called clarion call for two nations, and then left. He was not interested in making Pakistan. This doesn't mean that Jinnah, being a Gujarati, was in support of Hindus. No. Jinnah's grandfather was a Hindu, not father. Grandfather was a Hindu. That's a different reason why his grandfather got converted himself as a Muslim out of some kind of personal differences, anger, vengeance, etc. So that's how he becomes a Muslim. Not because he was attracted to the theories of Islam. There were reasons why he converted. And the same reason continued in case of Jinnah, because this Nehru was playing a role against Jinnah and was continuously humiliating and antagonizing Jinnah. That's why he went off. He went away back to England, stopping all his activities with the Congress. And then, of course, somebody went and told Jinnah, this Nehru is boasting that Jinnah is finished. Then he got angry. He was a very proud man. He comes back to Bharat and then gets involved into All India Muslim League. Otherwise, he was a congressman. So Jinnah, being a Gujarati, don't think that he was supporting Hindus. He was fully in support for the Muslims, but he had a different plan for the Muslims. He did not want a separate nation. He did not want a two nation, because he knew that if he goes for a two nation theory, Pakistan, of course, Pakistan is not an expression of Jinnah. Pakistan is a name created by Rahmat Ali. Rahmat Ali of Hoshiarpur, Punjab. The whole idea of Pakistan, the name was coined by Rahmat Ali, the map was drawn by Rahmat Ali, even a flag was designed by Rahmat Ali, and of course he was not very popular with the Muslim League people, maybe because he had his own grounds to stand which he stood. So even after Pakistan became a reality, after getting the land carved out of Bharat, he came from London to live in Pakistan. I don't know which part he came in, but then he could not stay. He went back. He had to go back. He had to leave Pakistan, the new created Pakistan, and then he died in England only. He died there also. So Jinnah did not want Pakistan to come to existence. This is another instance how he disliked the term Pakistan. Another instance is that there is one person called as Mia Kifayat Ali Khan, who is writing an assumed name as a Punjabi. He wrote a book called as Pakistan. He wrote a book under the name Pakistan. Then for publishing, there is a Mamdud in Gujarat, a Nawab of Punjab, Mamdud, who was in support of all these Muslim movements and separatism. Nawab of Mamdud promised to publish that book of Kifayat Ali Khan, who writes it under the name A Punjabi. That book's name was Pakistan. Then he requested Muhammad Ali Jinnah to write a introductory remarks, prologue. And Jinnah sends a telegram to Nawab of Mamdud that put any other name other than Pakistan to your book. Put any other name other than Pakistan to the book. So that much he detested the name Pakistan. But he had other plans. The plans of Jinnah was to make the Muslims live in Bharat and make them reservations and let them get the entire benefit of being in Bharat. If Muslims are separated as a nation, then they will quarrel one another because they are bent upon picking up differences with the others. The kind of Islam is a unity theory created by Iqbal in Allahabad address of All India Muslim League when he was president of conference is non-existent. It was only a fantasy of Muhammad Iqbal. So there can't be any unity just because one is a Muslim. There will be differences, and the differences will go to war. So Jinnah knew it very well. So he did not want a Pakistan. He wanted the Muslims to be in Bharat and get maximum from the nation, and in time, of course, they will populate more, and there will be some kind of majority, and then this nation would have gone to mess. This one, most people did not want Muslims to go away from Bharat, but except one thing of Bhai Premanand. He wanted in another nation for Muslims because he knew that to keep them in Bharat is going to be not less than any kind of danger. These are the thoughts those days before independence. Lot of theories were coming there. Many people came forward with two-nation theories, not one or two. There are quite a few two-nation theories. Some theories were popular, and even that Hyderabadi, South Deccan. Deccan means Dakshina. Dakshina is called as Deccan. Dakshina means South. The Deccan, Hyderabad, Dr. Latif, I think he was PhD, who was teaching English in Usmania University, also came up with a theory of two-nation theory. Anyway, many people have came up with this two-nation theory, many schemes, this thing, that thing. But eventually it happened. So this is ultimately this semblance of mistake it becomes. There are many people put together. People, especially like Jinnah, knew that they can never be together. And Baluchistan is nothing but an outcome of this mistake which was committed in 1947. They were explicitly standing over, but they were forced. See, those who have been natural allies those days, before 47, who believed to coexist, could not stay together. And how about those group, Baluchs, who never wanted to be part of it? I wonder how you prolonged them to be with Pakistan, because brutal force. The army has exercised brutal force on these people. Rather destroyed them very badly. Destroyed their integrity, pride. The women were raped. The men were made to disappear. and they never come back. Women were raped. All kinds of such atrocities were put on Baluchs. And in spite of all, I wonder how these people could withstand such brutalities. Now, of course, such brutalities. Now, of course, they are coming asking for a separate nation. I think they will not take a long time to become independent nation from Pakistan. But that, of course, has to happen. And Baluch, they have a long sea coast. They have a harbor, Bandargah, what do you say? The harbor. They have a good harbor, which, of course, I think Gadar. They are harbors. So they have sea connectivity. They are not landlocked. And if Baluchistan becomes, when, of course, not if, when Baluchistan becomes a republic, the Punjab, Pakistan will be landlocked. And when Pakistan occupied Kashmir, it comes to Bharat, then we'll have land connection to Afghanistan. Now, all these are Muslim nations. It's not religion that plays, it is selfishness and brutality that we're addressing. Baluchs are also Sunni Muslims, Punjabis are also Sunni Muslims, Afghans are also Sunni Muslims. It's not religion that unites you, remember. It's something else that unites you. When you have such qualities, you'll have friends. Pakistan had been using only religion. Pakistan had been using religion. That's one of the most serious anti-religious act, I will tell you. Religion is meant for transcendental purposes, meant for, say, salvation, or, of course, for Hindus it's liberation, or any Indian religion it's a liberation. But religion is a path to transcendence. But Pakistanis are using religion for very petty, selfish purposes. You are accused of using religion for a nefarious ends. And this can't go on. And you call religion as a unifying factor? Absolutely not, you can't. Because you're using religion. You're not finding solace in religion. You're not finding salvation in religion. You're not finding anything in religion except an instrument to operate. That's what your Maulavis are doing in madrasas. What happens in madrasas you should know. Why should I tell? You must be having direct expressions. Do you have any kind of morals taught in madrasas? Anybody can do anything and get it sanctified, saying that it is said in our religion, this manner. So you have been using religions, but not all people are using religions, like the Pakistani Punjabis do. Baluchis are not using religions. Pathans are not using religions. They are trying to be religious. It's not easy to be religious in that sense. One has to try, and trial is sufficient. So you can't count on these people. They want to be free from you, because you are maligning religion for these people. Their religion, your religion, same, but you are destroying their religion. That's why these people can't stand with you. Baluchs can't stand with you. Pathans can't stand with you. Many others can't stand with you. So they will separate. And the Kashmiris, their plight is pathetic, absolutely pathetic. They are also brainwashed using this. So this situation, Baluchis will fall off. Whatever you say, however emotionally you get charged and speak against Bharat, we are not facilitating. Our sympathies are with them. We are not giving them anything to fight. They would love to get weapons from us, but then we follow international ethics. We are not doing anything out of way. But they will win their freedom. Freedom has to be won. Freedom has to be won. Freedom has to be earned, and the Baluchs will do it. Baluchs will earn it one day. You cannot force them to be with you for time, eternity. We shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.